Good evening, everyone. Sorry for that later delay. I accidentally started the wrong screen showing, but no big deal. Anyway, I am going to be doing some CSS art as promised, so you can watch and follow along. Basically, what I'm going to be building is an animated piece of CSS art featuring a nice little creature that is camera shy and needs to be revealed by hovering over a particular part of the image, and then you'll be able to see it show itself and say hi. But I'll also have some other fun stuff which you will have to just wait and see. I do have a template, if you will, that I'm trying to follow. And when I say template, I'm not speaking of code, I'm speaking of I actually drew something that I want to replicate, so it's kind of like a guideline that I want to follow. Yeah, so I won't be showing you that, but you'll get to see me build it as I go. So yeah, we'll jump right in. Just a reminder though that music today is from Creators Lib on YouTube. They produce free music and sound effects for content creators. You can go and check them out and get yourself some free Afro beats or sound effects. Alright, let's go. Alright, so the scene I'm going to be working on today is called Camera Shy, and all I'm going to need is an index and a single CSS file. So we're going to create index.html and link up to our CSS. By the way, I'm using Atom today as opposed to Visual Studio Code, which I normally use on stream, but today I just felt like using Atom because I already had it open doing some other work, so I decided to just continue on with what I already had. Alright, let me create our CSS file, which will be camerashy.css, and make sure to link that correctly over here. And in our body, let me see, what am I going to have? I'm going to add a div with the class wall, or I should put wall, well, this should be backdrop. Then another div with the class wall left, a div here with the class door, and what else am I going to need? Alright, I'm going to take a brief look at my guide that I have here. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need a window. So div, window. And I'm also going to add some divs in here. About maybe 5 of them. I thought Emmett would have taken care of that. Alright, so I'm going to add a class to this. And this will be snow 0, and then I'm going to duplicate this. And alright, I'm going to have about 5 of these. So snow 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what else am I going to need? Oh yeah, I remember now. Alright, let me see if I can adjust something here by the way. It's just a minute. I forgot to fix this earlier before starting the stream. Alright, should be able to see things a little bit better now because I forgot that I was working with 2 different monitors, and so the windows were of different sizes, but they're of the same size now, so they should basically work correctly. Alright, so just detangling myself from some cables here. Y'all can't see that. I could turn on my webcam too, so you could actually see that. But yeah, I just had to detangle from some cables. Alright, so everything is better now. Let me hide this sidebar because we're not gonna need that. And over here, let me start setting up some styles. So for our body, oh, before we do that, I forgot to add, I'm probably going to need more for this too, I think. But let me add, should I give this thing a name? I don't even know. Let's just call it creature. And let's also add, below creature, we're going to add creature arm. And by the way, I'm deliberately putting certain things higher up in the document and certain other things lower down in the document because that automatically determines their z-index. If they're lower down, they're higher in z-index. So that should avoid any issues with things that need to overlap and are not overlapping because of z-index. So yeah, that's basically why I'm doing this particular way. I'm being very particular with where I put everything. Alright, so let us actually make this look like something. So the body, I'm going to go with a background of RGB 35, 35, 35. Did I link up this style sheet correctly? I did, so why did this not reload? Oh, okay. Was it not saved? Alright, something's up here I need to track down. Let's see if it actually shows any text. If not, I'll probably have to restart the live server. Okay, so it does show the text. So something else is up. Alright, let's try this again. Body, background color. Let me go with black for now and see if that will change anything. No, it did not. So clearly it's not pulling in the CSS file as it should. Let me just check quickly and see. Aha, that's why it did not put this in a folder. My bad. New folder, CSS. Click and drag. There we go. I should have caught that earlier, but I knew definitely the CSS file wasn't being pulled from for some reason. Alright, 35, 35, 35, that's what we want. And also our usual wildcard to normalize some stuff, which will have border, no, sorry, not border, box sizing, border box. It will also have margin set to 0 and padding set to 0. And then for the wall, which will be in the back, we're gonna have div, sorry, we're gonna have wall backdrop, and we're gonna set that to width 100%. Height will be 75 VH. Background color. Let's go with white for now. Alright, so good. We can see it's in place. And I'm going to change the color. Since we see that it is in place, I'm going to change the color to something more interesting. So maybe like a brownish kind of color. 135, 105, 85. Oh, I forgot a comment. Yeah, that. Not the prettiest color, but hey, it's a color. I'll figure out some sort of better color for the wall at some point, I guess. Alright, so the next wall that we're going to need is wall left. And that one is going to be positioned absolutely top. Well, let's use inset for this. So inset 0. So it'll be set to 0 on the top, 50% on the right, and then 25 VH from the bottom, and 0 on the left. And then we're going to put a background color for this. For this one, I'm going to go with a lighter color, so 175, 135, and 105. Good. So there we have two walls in place, left and right. And if we want, we can also add a shadow to this wall to make things a little more interesting. And I think I'm going to actually move this wall a little bit more to the left. So I'm going to set right to a value of like 75. Okay, that's a lot. That is quite a lot. Alright, 65. Yeah, 65 is much better. And I'm going to add an after pseudo element. Or better yet, let me use before, because before will have a lower Z index automatically if I remember correctly. So before content is empty, but it must have content, if not you're not going to see it. Position is absolute. And we are going to put it to right 0, top. In fact, let me use inset one more time. Saves me some typing. So inset 0, 0, 0, and 100%. Box shadow. Let me move that down. Box shadow should be 0, 0, 18px RGBA 0.05. Is it even visible? Yeah, it is visible, but it's still kind of hard to actually see it. Oh, I see what happened. I added commas by accident too. Let me add some spread to that, just so I can actually see where it is and I can tweak it as I need to. Okay, so using before did not change the Z index as I incorrectly remembered, so I will put it to -1, and that should move it behind. And I'm just going to tweak this until I get the result I'm looking for. Wait a minute. Let's see something here. Oops. I think it is being hidden. So I'm going to check and see if overflow is the issue here. Overflow visible. Okay, overflow is not the issue. Not quite sure what I am not catching on to, but this is the fun thing with CSS. No matter how well you know it, something will go wrong that you don't catch. So what I'm going to do instead of using box shadow is a tried and true method that pretty much always works. And that is, I'm going to actually give it a background color and blur it. So background color, RGBA 0, 0, 0.5, Let me just make sure this is actually visible too. Alright, it is clearly not visible, so what am I missing? Me use the good old top, bottom, and all that stuff, although a set should work. Just in case I'm missing something, I'm gonna double check by doing this. Let me take out the index and see if this will help as well. Alright, so there it is. I have it positioned somewhere. Now I'm gonna try to line it up exactly as I want it. Good, so it's outside and right by 5%. 15, nothing. Oh, you know what my mistake was? Forgot to use a negative value. I can't believe that I made that mistake again. Alright, so let's put this back to where I had it before. 0, 0, well, 0, negative 35, well, negative 2% or so should be enough. 0 and 100%, and that should do the trick. Yep, it does. Mistakes are part of the course when you're coding, but sometimes they can be slightly not so much embarrassing but annoying because it's like, how did I forget that? Alright, so filter. We need filter blur. We're gonna go with 8px. Good. So now we have a shadow, and we don't have to worry about bot shadow not working. And I'm also gonna double check with the Z index by making sure it is below. Now if it's not showing the shadow enough, I can move this out to the right a little more until it is visible. Let me turn on the blurring just a bit too. Alright, I'm gonna take off blurring because if it's just visible now I can't see it again. Oops. What did I do wrong? Oh, it's the index that's the problem. I see. Maybe what I'll need to do instead of using position absolute, let me see a position fix. Will solve this? Nope, it did not. Alright, so we'll just take these, oops, we'll take these Z index out from this one altogether and leave it as it was. I don't think it should make too much of a difference. Right, there we go. My apologies for any confusion, this is just part of the course with coding. Alright, so good. Got all that stuff in place. Now I can move on to the next part, which is creating the creature itself. So we had creature, and I'm going to make this one a kind of a rounded rectangle. So that will be height. Let's go with about 35 VH. And then we're going to go aspect ratio of... I'm in between minds on this one. Let's go with 1 and 2. And background color, temporarily I'm going to make it white just so you can see it. And then I'm going to position it absolutely. Trying to keep things in alphabetical order here. Position, absolute, and inset 25%. Auto, wait, 25%, and I want 75 VH, and also for the bottom, and then for the left I will put it to about 10 VH or so. Let's see if that works. Where is our creature gone to? Okay, it's behind the wall, I forgot that. So what I need to do now is actually move it out from behind the wall temporarily so I can see it to work on it, and then I'm going to move it back behind the wall so that we can animate it. So I'm going to put it to... Alright, where is it? Still not visible. Alright, there you are. Z index to the rescue until they can get this positioning sorted. Well, I want it out from behind the wall temporarily. Alright, border radius. I'm going to set that to 15%. Or maybe not. Let me go with a pixel value instead, because that will be nicer. Yeah, pixels will give you a nicer effect than using percentages when you're doing border radius. So I'm going to use pixels instead of percentages. I think maybe this creature should be a bit wider as well. 1.5 by 2 or 0.35. That's a bit wide still. Yeah, there we go. 1.235 by 2. And then we're going to add some eyes to this. So creature after and creature before. Position, absolute, background color, black, content, blank of course, height, let us go with about 5 VH, and aspect ratio 1:1. Then we're going to round them with border radius of 50%. I think we could probably make these slightly taller as well. Looks cooler like that in my opinion. And then we're going to position them each separately. So let me see, for the top, we want the top to be about 15%, let's see. Yeah, 15% is good on each. And for the first eye, left of 25%. And the second eye, before. I'm gonna put right to 25%. So now it has 2 eyes. No mouth, of course, because what good would be a creature with a mouth? I'm just kidding. It probably might give it a mouth at some point. Do I want to add anything else to these? Maybe. I'm in between minds on if the eye should have pupils or not, or if they should blink. Maybe I may actually do all that stuff when I'm done with the basics. I'll tweak this and add some other features. So a creature arm now is going to be background color white. Let's move it up on the Z index as well so we can actually see it. Oops. And width, well, let's go with height again like we did before. Height of 5 VH, aspect ratio 1:5. Alright, let's make it bigger than that. Yeah, there we go. Good. Or maybe I'll tweak this a bit. I want it to be slightly thicker than that. Good. That's a pretty reasonable arm there. Border radius. 18 px for this one. Or maybe more. I want it rounder than that. Yeah, there we go. And transform. We're actually going to rotate it this time, so transform, rotate 45 degrees. Inset. Let us see here. Top should be 25 VH. Right should be auto. Should it? Yeah, right auto. Left, well, bottom auto and left about 35 view width. Is it? Oh, I forgot position. So position absolute. Now the arm is covering the eye, so I need to shift it a bit. There we are. Now I can move it down. Not that far down, obviously. About there. Good. What I actually should have done, now I think about it, is put the creature arm inside of creature. So let me just move it to about there. And instead of using view height, we'll use percentages. Okay, not 75 or 65, sorry. Let's go with 93.5 and 25 or 23. 21. Yeah, 21. Alright, let's shift this out to the left a little more. Can be a little tricky with CSS Art getting things exactly right, which is why you'll see me tweaking so much to make sure I get this in the right position. Good, that's about good there. And now if I rotate the creature itself, I should be able to rotate the arm automatically. So I'm going to move the creature back behind the wall and hide it. Let me make this auto, because this is much easier to do. Auto and... Okay, that's too much. I don't know why I went for such a high value. Alright, I'm gonna move it a little more than that. 2.5. Good. Alright, so now I'm going to add an animation to this. Creature, sorry, not creature. I want wall, hover. So I actually should probably put, now I think about it, I should tweak this a bit and put the creature inside of wall left so that I can hover the wall and animate the creature like that. So there we go. Which will necessitate moving the creature back below the wall using the Z index. Like this, the index -1, and so now I can hover the wall on the left and animate the creature. So wall left hover, then a space, creature, and I'm going to use aim set again because I didn't have left, right, and all those defined separately. I'm going to use aim set for this again, and I just need to find it here. Alright, here it is. I'm going to copy this value and tweak it so that it comes from behind the wall. Now let's go with 35, and we'll add a transition, of course, to the first declaration. So transition, 2 seconds, well, all 2 seconds, ease in, out. Where is it? It's not showing up. Did I forget something here? Alright, let's see something here a minute. Something else is up altogether. What am I missing? I'm looking for a creature. Oh, really? Well, that is mildly annoying. For some reason it is showing up above the... Oh, I don't remember why. Because I have position absolute on, so let me turn that off. In fact, let me use position relative. Right, there we go. Let me see if the z-index will still give me an issue now. It should still give me an issue if I am not getting this wrong. Yeah, it still does. So what am I missing here? I need to track that down. Oops, don't mean to drag that tab. My brain's gears are turning, but I am not making progress on figuring out what it is that I missed. I'm gonna just check one simple thing here, although this is silly as ever. Maybe it will jog my memory of something and I will figure out what I'm missing. Okay, so it is picking up the hover. Let me put the creature back below its parent. I'm going to put this to position fixed as well. Okay, good. So position fixed is solving one problem but not another. You know what? I just realized there may have to be another fix for this, but this is going to require me complicating my code a little bit. Although I don't mind. Sometimes you have to find these tricks of the oh, wait a minute. I just realized what the problem probably really is. Is it? No, it's not that. I thought for a moment there that I hadn't closed the div, but no, all the divs are closed. It's just this one is on a position with a tab, so that's not it. But what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to leave the creature behind the wall like I had it, but I'm going to create an invisible object so that when you hover the creature itself, it stops hiding. Sometimes you have to do this because of the quirks in CSS, and it's not always possible to track down whatever it is that you're missing, which I'm pretty sure I'll probably find after I finish the stream and then be like, oh yeah, but I'm not doing that today, so I'm gonna just create an invisible thing and put it on top of the wall. So we're gonna have creature actor here. Oops. Alright, so creature actor is gonna have a background color of red. And the height 100, well, no, sorry, 75 view height. And position fixed. Top 0, bottom 0, left 0, and right 50%. Now we have a problem. It is only... Wait a minute. Oh yeah. We don't have a problem, I just made a mistake. I need to add a z-index to this. Z-index 1, 2, 3. Is it moving? No, it is not. Okay, what am I missing now? This is annoying. And slightly embarrassing. As a K of CSS, I shouldn't be making mistakes, right? Just kidding. Alright, so who is showing above who? I wonder if that was the problem all along. Alright, let me just put wall left to position relative. Good. I wouldn't be shocked if this was what I was missing all along. Transparent on the overlay thing. And I'm going to change wall left's color just so I can actually see it. If it is visible, that is. Okay, it's being covered by something else. CSS is so much fun and so frustrating at the same time. Makes even experts look like total ghosts. Alright. Now I'm kind of lost as to where my wall left has gone. So let me take off this position and inset and give it a height and a aspect ratio 1 to 0.5. Okay, so now it's down here. Good. As expected. Top 0. Right, that didn't solve a thing because it is not positioned. So position fixed. Top 0. Left 0. Right 65%. shouldn't need the Z index for that anymore. This is so much easier in my head than it is actually quoting it. Alright, creature actor, Z index is not going to work on this. So we are back to square one, kind of. Still have to figure out why it is that putting the creature inside of the wall did not work. Even though in theory it should. Somehow I feel like I'm missing something, and this is also slightly translucent, isn't it? I would hate to think that it's Google Chrome's own CSS messing with this, but I would not be surprised. Okay, that's not that it's translucent. This is the... I know what that is. That is the shadow that's showing above it and made it look translucent. So let me see if I can find that back. That's this right here. It's position absolutely. I'm going to use position absolute on the creature. The Z index is still being ignored though, that's annoying. Alright, tell you what, we're not going to bother with all the complication. I'm going to use a button and some JavaScript because I am not pulling my hair out trying to figure out what it is that I'm missing with this particular issue. So let me just drop a button somewhere in here. This should be so much easier to do, but for some reason I can't seem to figure out what I'm missing, so oh well. So, show creature, we're going to put that in the button and give this button a class. Okay, so creature, where is creature? Let us hide creature behind the wall again. Let's just go with 5VH and I'm gonna add a class called activated. And where is that inset value from creature gone? Right, here it is. Alright, so we add a script. Document, I'm acting like I can't spell today. Document query selector, creature, classless, add, activated. And we're going to wrap all this up in the function activate. Good, so that works. Transform, rotate for 45 degrees. Maybe less than that. Also going to animate the creature arm. But for this one, we're actually going to use an animation. So that will be animation with 2 seconds, infinite both. And we're going to add keyframes with, and it crashed. Let's show the creature again. Alright, 0%, sorry, 0%. Where's the creature arm? It was transform, rotate. Right, let's just copy this. 100% will be 45 degrees. Will you stop crashing Google Chrome, please? Okay, so let's make this 50, and then at 100, we'll go back to where it was. And we just need to adjust this now to be less rotation. That was a pretty crazy number I had there, because I wasn't really thinking about the waving aspect. It clearly does not like my animation or something, because it keeps crashing. Let's go to something way less extreme. That should do the trick. And I'm going to turn this up to 65. So let's improve this function so we can toggle. So let toggle equal this stuff here. In fact, not classless. Alright, so if toggle class list, oops, class list contains activated toggle class list remove else toggle class list add activated. You can see that I used to use C++ a lot because I always add semicolons even though they're absolutely unnecessary. Just makes me feel better. Good, so now our creature actually shows itself. I will go ahead and add a leg. I really wanted this to animate on hover, but I don't feel like wrestling with CSS today, to be honest. I feel like playing with it, which I normally do, but for some reason I'm forgetting something and making it look like I have no clue what I'm doing. Alright, let me make sure the creature is shown and get creature leg. And I'm going to copy all of this stuff here. I'm going to move it down to about 75. Oops. That's funny. Alright, let me use an actual width on this one so we don't run into any challenges. Width. Let us go with about 8V width. Oops. Okay, not that much. 5. Yeah. Okay, maybe 8 isn't actually that bad. Come and think of it. By the way, if you see me just going through this randomly, I'm not doing the math. Which I sometimes do, but today I'm being lazy and not bothering to do the math. But I could actually make this a little bit easier. Okay, that's good there. What I'm going to do is have the leg animate as well by changing the rotation when it is active to be this value here. And when it is inactive, I will change it to be another value. Let's go with about 75. So let's see what happens when we animate. I forgot to add a transition to this too as well. Transition, 2 seconds. I forget to add all so many things. 2 seconds, easing out. There we go. Okay, now I need it to go from the other direction because this direction doesn't quite look right when it animates in. So, okay, maybe not the other direction. Yeah, it's still not quite looking like I want it to look. So let me reduce this by quite a bit and see if that will fix the issue. Nope. Oh yeah, because this one is set to 180 degrees. So maybe I am going from the wrong direction. That's why. Let's try 195. Or maybe just go with 165. It's not enough. yeah, there we go. Now the only challenge is the arms rotation kinda doesn't work quite correctly when it's going back into position. So I'm going to need to change this to the same rotation that it has in the animation, and then it should be able to work. Or what I can do is, or I should say, and what I can do, I can move it back inside of the body a bit. So I'm going to copy this here. Oops, where did I just, what did I just do? Okay. I just hit the wrong key by accident. Alright, I'm going to copy this down to here and change this left value to something a lot smaller, like 45. And then what I'm going to do is add a transition to this. Transition all, let's go with 3 seconds this time and ease it out. Took a little too long to show that arm. Good. And now for the button itself. Oh yeah, I believe that is creature actor. Is it? Oh no, it's activate. I missed it. Alright, so for activate, because this button is kind of annoying me how small it is, let us go with a padding of 2 EM and 5 EM. That's huge, I know, but it is much easier to click on. And text transform uppercase. Letter spacing 0.5 EM. Okay, maybe 2.35 is better. And color, let's go with something other than black, because black is kind of sharp. Good. Well, let's also give it a hover. I'm really going to need to add normalize to this because all that unnecessary animation whenever you reload is slightly annoying. So I'm going to copy normalize CSS or one of these templates up in here. Somebody should have it. There it is. Just drop that in here. And of course we'll need to fix the font that we're using now because it is using a serif font, sorry. So font, lasso, light, well sorry, not font size, that should be font family. I was typing so quickly I didn't even stop to read it. Sans serif, and yeah, that should be it. It's still animating our button size for some reason, I don't know why. I know why. Because we didn't set anything for buttons, so let's set buttons padding to 2 EM and 5 EM. That should stop it. Didn't stop it, really? That's annoying. Ah well, no big deal, not gonna fight over that. At least this works as it should. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. Border none. Okay, so everything looks like it should. Now, to get to the fun stuff in this instead of the complicated stuff, the stuff I actually can do pretty quickly, which would be a door and a shadow coming from the door. This is going to look kind of, I don't know if creepy, but it's some uncanny stuff here. You'll see why, but I won't explain why. Alright, so I have a window. I'm going to add that. Background color, RGB. Let's go with 35, 135 and 235. Height of 25. View height. Aspect ratio 2:1. Okay, that's pretty huge. So let me make it smaller than that. Position fixed. That window is a little bright, so I'm going to bring down the color of this window a bit. And let's make the back wall a different color as well. I want a kind of a dark scene here. Which will mean adjusting some stuff, but this will still look kind of cool when I'm done. At least based on what I have in my head, it should look kind of cool when I'm done. Alright, and then the door height of 25 VH. Oops. Aspect ratio. This time will be 1 to 2. Or no. 0.5 to 1. Right, because we don't need to stretch it any higher than it is. Background color. Gonna be a lighter color this time. So let's go with 65. Alright, it could be whiter than it is, for sure. that's taller than I expected. But again, it's not that bad, so yeah, I think it's good there. Just gotta move it across and up. And I want to add some light coming through this door. This is going to be, as I said, a little bit unsettling because what on earth is going on here? Alright, so door after content, nothing, background color, let's make it white for now, height, let's go with about 10 feet height. In fact, no, I just need top, I think. Right. No, I don't need aspect ratio now I think about it. And I'm not going to necessarily need height. Let me leave height in place. Left of 0 and right of 0. And transform skew X is what I'm looking for. I'm trying to remember if there's a way to shape this other than using whatchamacallit, clipping paths or anything like that, which I don't remember the code for offhand. I can't remember for sure. Alright, I'm gonna make this a gradient. Linear gradient. Finally go with white and transparent. That didn't work. Oh yeah, because I have background color. My bad. Can't believe I did that. Background image, right, there we go. And let us get some opacity on this. So blurring is probably not the best idea for this, although it would look nice. It's overlaying the door and the index doesn't exactly work because this positioning nonsense. CSS can be slightly frustrating where that is concerned. I would actually need another object, I think, and then I would have to position that one absolutely, and even that I think can be a little tricky too. And I don't really feel like spraining my brain to work through all the ramifications of this, that, and the other, so yeah. Let me just use a more fine gradient to get this to work. gonna leave the door like that. Maybe I'll just add a border to this. Well, using box shadow instead of actually adding a real border. Box shadow 0, 0, or better yet, minus 5px 0, 5px white. Right, there we go. Not perfect, but hey, it's something roughly close to what I'm going for. And I think I may add something inside that door after, but I want to get to the window before I get back to the door. I want to make this look as though the door leads to somewhere else inside the house, but the window still has outside showing, which would be kind of weird. Unless, of course, this area here. Where's my mouse? Unless this area here is supposed to be like part of the house, but outside of here is next to it or something, it still wouldn't make sense as to why the light is coming through this way. But anyway, well then again, no, I would need to flip this to make it look even more strange that the light is coming from this way, and yet the door seems like it's leading into somewhere over here. Yeah. Anyway, let me get to this window because I'm going to put some snow inside of it. Overflow, hidden, and border 1px solid white. I think I'll leave it at 1px. Window after and window before. Content will be nothing as usual. Position absolute. Top 0, bottom 0. Well, actually, no. Because they can't share that. I don't remember. One of them needs to have things going one way, the other needs to have them going the other way. So we're going to go with before first. And let's set this to inset. Oh, before I do that, let me add the background color here. Wait. The inset on this one will be 0. Let's go at about 35%. 0 and 35% again. Yeah, I figured I was gonna need more than that, but I still dropped in some numbers anyway. Alright, good, there we go. And after there we go. So our window has some crossbars on it, and now for the snow. In fact, let's use a wildcard class. Right, good. So it is snow. Background color white, height. Let's make it something crazy for the moment just so I can actually see it. Oops, this should be aspect ratio, not aspect. That's why it wasn't working. Alright, I can make them bigger than that. What I'm going to do here is increase the number of snowflakes I have by giving their pseudo elements the same properties. Alright, now to animate these snowflakes, we're going to use a CSS variable, aka custom property, and then I'm going to change that custom property in each animation. So, well, not in each animation, in each class. So what I'm going to do here is have let me see here. Oh yeah, first let me define that variable. So that should be snow position. Let's put snow position to 0 everything first, then inset to var snow position. Oh wait, I didn't need this duplicate thing because it's already up there. Alright, so now to animate this stuff, let's add a keyframe. This would be snowfall. And 0. I'm trying to remember how I did this with the waveforms thing, because there's a pretty simple way to do this. Alright, so 0%, let's put it to inset var snow position, and 100% would be var would be inset var snow final, and then for wait, let me add the animation of this before I get to those classes. So animation is snowfall. Let's go at 3 seconds, infinite, and yeah, that should be it. And let me also add snow final to these so they can actually fall. Snow final is going to be 100% from the top, 0 for the right, We choose auto for the bottom. Auto and 0. Right, so everybody's falling as I wanted them to. Now all I need to do is set each class individually. Snow 0. We're gonna set snow position to 50%, 0, 0, 0, auto 0. In fact, I didn't need to change the top. That was my mistake. Put it to right at 50%. Did I get this right? Let me change the background color on this one so I know which one it is. It isn't moving. So clearly I did something wrong here in my animation. Oops. I'm going to move these variables out to the root of the document. Right, so that shouldn't have any problems now. In theory, at least. Okay, so now this is being animated, but for some reason it's not coming down. Oh, now I know why, my bad. 100%. This could easily quickly get complicated because I'm about to move these around inside the window, so I'm going to change this one now to var snow mid. Oops. The point here is I'm about to shift this around in all sorts of directions, basically. So let me see, this could be about, I don't know, wait, 45. This could be 50%. Let's move it to the left by, let me put left to auto actually over here. Something's still not animating correctly. Let me also copy snow mid up to the top just in case it's not being pulled in by the animation for everybody else, because it won't be able to find it. And I know sometimes I get bugs in Google Chrome if I'm missing a variable or anything. Alright. They're being cut off, or at least one of them is being cut off by accident. Well, I shouldn't say by accident, but it's being cut off like midway, but that should not be happening. I'm going to need to figure out which one that is. Interesting, so it's cutting part way and jumping across there. Shouldn't be happening, but it is. Oh, you know what? Let me add linear to this. Change the timing function, and that should help. For some reason this is still ignoring the second one, which I don't quite get. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and play around with these values because I don't really feel like trying to figure out what on earth it is that I missed there. Certainly not at this time, seeing as this is just for fun. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in the rest of these. Oh, now I remember what's happening. I have duplicates because the before and after, I forgot completely about those. Alright, snow mid. I'm completely forgetting snow final should come after snow mid. That's part of what was confusing me because I was thinking alphabetical order. Alright, so top should still be 100%. Yeah, let me leave that one there as is. Oh, and another thing, I will have them go to opacity 0 at the end, so they can fade out nicely. I wish there was something that could automate the randomization of this. because that would really make my life easy. I know somebody did it the other day on dev using JavaScript, but the amount of code that I took to do it was a pretty evolved process, so I'm not really sure I want to go that route. But it is possible to randomize the values in JavaScript and apply that to your CSS as well. But this is why, by the way, that usually takes people several hours to do CSS art of any kind. Me, on the other hand, I don't have that kind of time, so I don't usually get to do this. Also takes quite a bit of practice, as you could probably imagine. Alright, last one is Snow 4. I am typing like I do not know what I'm doing. Start this one off at 35%. Alright, and now for the after elements. Well, before and after, I should say. This is the last thing that I'm going to do. Oops. But yeah, let me just copy all this stuff. Oops. In case you're wondering, I am not bothering to try to figure out any of the math and all that stuff right now. This is just as random as it gets. Alright, we're going to use find and replace on this to change all these befores to after as soon as my mouse decides to cooperate. And stop jumping all around my screen. these are not falling quite as random as I wanted them, but at least they're somewhat random and they're animated. That's the whole point. Alright, so that's the last of them. They're falling wherever they fall. I am not bothering to fight with all that positioning because this project is just for fun, and I do not have the time to fight with that stuff. Like I keep saying, if I was really trying to actually get this done, like seriously, I'd actually take my time. But I just did CSS Art in an hour and 40 minutes, so you can forgive any imperfections on this one. But our camera shy creature is saying hello. We've got snow falling outside, light coming through a random door. Did I miss anything from my idea? No, I didn't. Okay, I got everything in place. I originally was gonna go with something kind of generic, like flowers or, you know, maybe a phone, a computer screen, you know, something like that. Those things are kind of simple and easy, believe it or not. But this, for some reason, this decided to be tricky when it should be pretty straightforward. I don't know why this guy decided to be so hard to design and animate. So I didn't get around to doing like pupils in the eyes or a mouth or any of that stuff that I could have done, because just positioning this took up like the majority of my time, which is amazing. But I hope you get to see why CSS Art is such a big deal right now, because it takes a lot of wrangling with CSS to get sometimes the most basic things done. It's also probably a good place to plug where you should pay people like myself who do CSS for a living, because it is a lot of work. But anyway, I had fun doing this despite the minor challenges that cropped up, and the fact that I didn't get this as complicated as I wanted it, and I didn't get the hover done. I still had fun doing this. Next week though, I will be getting back to the project I started in the previous week, which is building a website from scratch. Basically, we're building a website for a barbershop, and also I'm going to be continuing an illustration in Inkscape, and following that, likely I'll be getting back into more of a teaching kind of thing, you know, more structured, so you can look forward to that. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions or anything that you want to say to me, you can hop onto my YouTube, Twitch or Twitter channels, drop me a line, or you can go to my website and send me a message. Yeah, or you can also tag me on Twitter. I'm pretty much always on Twitter. Even if I'm not on Twitter, I'm technically always on there, so you can drop me a line on Twitter if you like, and yeah, I'll get back to you. If you need any mentoring or anything like that as well, you can reach out, no problem. Yeah, so until next week, I am Roland Taylor, aka Roland Dixar. Hope you had fun today with this well, not really impromptu, it was planned, but this kind of random-ish CSS art session, and I will see you next week.